know about Tammy setting up was gonna set up Cuffy and the Mexican warrior Suarez.
How did Meech have information on you and give it to Tammy so you could get caught up in it? How did that happen?
Hey everyone, welcome back to Celebrew. Today, we're diving into a red-hot drama that's got the hip-hop community buzzing from all angles. It involves legendary Black Mafia family founder Demetrius Big Meech Flannery, rap mogul 50 Cent, and Rick Ross, with a side of alleged snitching and broken loyalties. Pour yourself a drink, get comfortable, and let's jump right in. Before we get to the latest revelations, let's set the scene. If you've watched or heard of the TV series BMF, then you already know a bit about Big Meech. He co-founded the Black Mafia family in the late 1980s with his brother, Terry, a Southwest Flannery. Their organization grew to become a massive operation dealing with illegal substances under the guise of a hip-hop label. Eventually, law enforcement cracked down, leading to lengthy prison sentences for both brothers. Fast forward to more recent times. Big Meech's life story became the basis of 50 Cent's TV series BMF on Starz, which launched in September 2021. Meech's own son, Demetrius Flannery Jr., stars as his father in the show, adding a unique layer of authenticity. 50 Cent served as an executive producer on the project, playing a major role in bringing the story to life on screen. But if you thought everything was sunshine and roses between Big Meech and 50, think again. When 50 Cent saw Big Meech linking up with Rick Ross, he felt it was a direct betrayal. Why? Because 50 Cent expects unwavering loyalty from his business associates, Meech included. So 50 made his feelings very public, sharing social media posts that not only took jabs at Rick Ross, but also labeled Big Meech a rat for choosing to collaborate with Ross. But 50 Cent's criticism goes beyond Rick Ross. He zeroed in on a figure named Tammy Cowens, who is at the heart of Big Meech's life story. Tammy co-owns the rights to Meech's life and has been involved in BMF-related projects for
It's desperation at the points that you hear things from him at this point. Because if you're looking for someone, it ain't that hard to find me.
years. According to multiple sources, including Tanisa Welch, often called the First Lady of BMF, Tammy has a well-known history as a government informant dating back to 2008. This revelation has caused major controversy among anyone associated with her, including Big Meech and 50 Cent. Here's where it gets messy. 50 Cent actually worked closely with Tammy Cowens on the BMF series. Some fans are now calling 50 a hypocrite for slamming Meech over teaming with Rick Ross.
Demetrius Flannery and his brother Terry ran one of the country's largest operations during the late 80s, 90s, and early 2000s.
Allegedly an informant, when 50 himself worked on a show produced with someone who also has an informant label hanging over her head. It's a tangled web of accusations, and the public is left wondering who's telling the truth. One of the heaviest bombs dropped in this situation is the claim that Big Meech cooperated with authorities to secure an early release date. Originally sentenced to 30 years, Meech was recently granted a reduced sentence. He is scheduled for official release in 2025, but news broke in October 2024 that he was moving to a re-entry program in Miami. This sudden early release ignited rumors that he must have cooperated with the federal government.
Rose, the time has come. Meech home. February 13th, get your tickets right now.
Especially considering many BMF associates remain locked up for similar charges. Now, was Tammy Cowens instrumental in negotiating Meech's leniency? Various people tied to BMF think so. Tanisa Welch has openly said Tammy tried to violate her probation by filing a complaint that Welch threatened her. Meanwhile, another BMF member, Dion Cuffy Gatling, alleges that Meech and Tammy collaborated to set him up. Cuffy's daughter even went public, saying Meech had been like an uncle to her for years, only to discover he'd played a role in her father's arrest.
Wale, prison reform, and all of the wrongfully convicted and wrongfully treated people in the prison system.
So why is 50 Cent so invested in this? Clearly, the star has always prided himself on exposing informants or people he perceives as untrustworthy. When Meech announced a partnership with Rick Ross, 50 reacted by posting pictures of rats and cryptic references to the truth behind BMF. He promised a documentary
Nigga took a picture with Rick Ross.
that would reveal shady details about Meech, Tammy, and their alleged cooperation with law enforcement. But 50 also has some explaining to do. Critics argue that if 50 knew Tammy was an informant, why did he continue to work with her for the BMF series? Some fans believe 50 only decided to weaponize Tammy's informant status when Meech partnered with Ross, turning an old rumor into fresh ammo. The big question is whether 50 truly wants to expose wrongdoing or if he's simply offended by Meech's alliance with a longtime enemy. Rick Ross isn't one to stay quiet. He's clapped back at 50 Cent, labeling him a hurt hoe and telling him to keep personal grudges out of business decisions. Ross claims he's been on top of the rap game for years, and he's not about to let 50 or anyone else tarnish his reputation. He also mocked 50, saying everything 50 touches crumbles, suggesting that 50 is bitter about Ross's continued success in music and business ventures.
I get down to my probation officer, my son in the car, say, if I don't come out in a couple of hours, call the...
Like his car shows. For Ross, it's simple. Business is business. Teaming with Big Meech for a concert is just another money-making move. He doesn't see why 50 Cent should take it as a personal offense. Unless, of course, 50 is worried Ross and Meech might expose even more behind-the-scenes drama. Naturally, fans have taken sides. Some people argue that Big Meech is disloyal to 50 Cent after everything 50 did to boost Meech's story via the TV series. Others say 50 is being a hypocrite, acting as if Rick Ross is the only alleged informant out there, while he conveniently ignores Tammy Cowan's involvement. Online comments highlight this perspective. So 50 partnered with an informant. Why isn't that the headline? This is not the first time 50 knew about Tammy. He didn't care until Meech worked with Ross. A lot of folks also point out that 50 Cent and Jay-Z both have been tied to questionable figures in the past, but have remained unscathed until now. The difference is that 50 seems to be calling the shots and controlling the narrative whenever he decides someone is disloyal to him. As far as Big Meech's current stance, he hasn't released an official statement addressing 50 Cent's accusations. From the outside, it looks like Meech remains determined to collaborate with Rick Ross, and he's not letting 50's outbursts intimidate him. Some fans speculate that once Meech is fully out of confinement and able to speak freely, we might hear his side of the story in detail, potentially turning this into an even bigger spectacle. There's also a possibility that Meech may just let it blow over. After all, he's trying to rebuild his life after a lengthy prison sentence. He may not want to get further entangled in a back-and-forth social media war. Time will tell if Meech or Ross addresses 50's claims head-on or chooses to remain silent. So where does this leave us? We have multiple allegations of snitching, one of the biggest feuds in hip-hop reignited, and a swirl of rumors about who's truly telling the truth. And it all circles around loyalty, money, and respect in a culture that places a high premium on all three. Did Big Meech really strike a deal to secure early release? Is 50 Cent genuinely trying to expose informants? Or is this a personal vendetta against Rick Ross and Meech? And will the BMF series suffer from all this drama? Or will it keep rolling along, continuing to captivate viewers? One thing's for sure, this drama isn't dying down anytime soon. We're left to piece together who's telling the truth and who's spinning the story. In the hyper-competitive worlds of hip-hop and entertainment, alliances shift quickly, and loyalty can be a rare commodity. With 50 Cent calling Big Meech a rat, Rick Ross hitting back at 50, and allegations swirling about multiple people being informants, it feels like we're just scratching the surface. What do you all think? Is 50 Cent being hypocritical by attacking Meech for collaborating with Rick Ross despite working with Tammy Cowan's? Or did Meech cross a line, leaving 50 justifiably upset? Let's keep the conversation going, so drop your thoughts below and let me know whose side you're on. Or if you think everyone here needs to take a step back. And that's it for today on Celebrew. If you found this breakdown informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next deep dive into the biggest celebrity feuds and trending pop culture stories. This is Celebrew signing off. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.